Today's guest landed the starring role in a Broadway jukebox musical just as jukebox musicals were getting on everybody's nerves. Happily, the show turned into a phenomenon called Jersey Boys, and he went on to win a Tony Award for his efforts. Now he's back in the shiny suits for a special summer run. Please welcome Mr. John Lloyd Young. How you doing?
Great.
Good. I like the wave. That was good. Good. Pageant wave.
I just want to make sure that the people at home and their computers are feeling included. That we know that they're there. You know, so hello.
Yeah, we know that they're not here, but they're there.
Right.
Yeah. So
right.
So here we are. How you doing? You were
I'm
back
great.
on. You're back on Broadway. I saw the show last week. I saw your official opening night, I guess.
Yeah.
You're still awesome.
Thanks.
And the show is like better than ever, right? I
yeah.
mean,
This is a pretty good show.
It's nice to see a show like to step into a show after so many years and to feel like it's really being kept up. Did you feel that when you stepped in?
I felt like I was telling everyone backstage that it feels like going back to your hometown, except everyone's richer and everything's cleaner. It really does feel like that. I mean, the costumes are now made for the actors. When we opened, our Sherry jackets said H&M on the inside, literally.
Wow.
They put some lining around the collars, and now they're custom made. It's like starting in a mom and pop shop and then realizing it's turned into a conglomerate.
Right.
You know? It's pretty amazing.
And like I said, this show really, nobody knew what was going to happen with this show. It didn't seem when it started like, this is the next blockbuster on Broadway.
Well, why would anyone think that?
Right,
I mean, everyone had just been burned like 5 times in a row with one, bad jukebox show. It's not fair to say bad, because everyone's best efforts were there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as they were with Jersey Boys. But let's just say that they didn't find audiences.
Yeah.
Or that audiences just didn't warm to them. I figured, if we survived in terms of just workload or whatever, getting through previews, that we could be a hit, and it was really cool to be there while it was happening.
So you were in the show for about 2 years originally.
Yeah.
And 5-year absence. You're back. Is this something you?
5 years.
It is.
I guess
it's
almost 5. Yeah.
Was it easy to come back? Is it in your body? Is this a show? Did you have to relearn things? Or never been an actor, so I always wonder about that. Or is it just sort of like you step on and it's there?
It's been like stepping back on a bike, except a more expensive bike.
Right.
That
with richer people
doesn't
around
creak
you.
when it's with well-oiled gears. And but it has been interesting to actually, I'm older.
Yeah.
And the character ages from 16 to the character has gone through stages in a career, and we've all gone through this unbelievably frustrating and kind of depressing sometimes recession.
Right.
Everyone's had to adapt in certain ways. And being older and sort of knowing people who have lost jobs who should be working, and or people who are houses have foreclosed or whatever, and also just deepening myself and going through my own life and going through some hard things and some good things. I've become a deeper person, and so the older Frankie stuff that I was acting before, now I'm referencing from understanding,
What did you have to do to actually get yourself ready? I mean, I know you cut your hair. You were sporting some cool long.
Yeah, I let my hair grow. I mean, I was in an art studio for like 4 years.
Yeah, you're an
in
artist.
the recording studio for like those same 4 years, like in and out of recording studio, experimenting with things for like 4 years, and in kung fu training for 4 years.
Tell me
So
about
I
that.
could let my hair grow.
Kung fu training, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I have a brown belt in kung fu, Northern Chinese Shaolin Temple style kung fu.
How did that happen? What got you in that studio?
My manager thought that I could get out of my head, which was
Being in your head a dangerous place? Is that
I was an Ivy Leaguer before I was an actor, and
Right.
and a very kind of like cerebral person, and to get out of my head. I mean, that's why I love the arts and in all of the arts, because they get me out of my head and force me into action, and that for me is a better place to be. And kung fu is a practice that just forces you into action. I mean, your body's in motion, and you are doing things that that just really sort of sublimate any sort of weird or bad emotions. And now I have a more grounded feeling in life.
So you have some like crazy kung fu moves you want to like show
I can
off?
teach you something right this instant that will be so useful to you.
Let's do it.
Actually, I know someone who got mugged like a few weeks ago in New York. I haven't heard about a mugging of someone I know in years and years. So maybe this could save your life. You ready? So stand up.
I'm terrified, but yeah, sure.
Don't be terrified. It won't be humiliating at all.
Okay.
Okay. So grab my wrist here.
Grab it like this.
Just like
I'm
like
mugging
that.
you.
Right. Like grab my wrist.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Okay.
Don't be nervous.
Terrified.
So now I'm gonna pull you this way.
What?
Like that.
Uh-huh.
See how your whole body is away from me?
Yeah.
So good luck trying to punch me with your left arm.
Right.
Not facing me.
Yeah,
right?
I'm stuck.
Okay. So if I really wanted to go farther, I mean, that would just protect myself.
You'd flip me over.
No, that's kind of like judo. But if I wanted to go farther, I could break your elbow by going out into a lunge like this, coming up like that, breaking your elbow. And if I really were mad at you, then I could also come up like this and dislocate your head.
You're badass. What? Is it?
Right. So now let's do it again, and I'll do it faster. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So
Now I'm scared. Okay.
So we're just talking, and you decide you're going to.
Hey, dude, can I have your autograph? Oh.
There you go.
No
I would never do that.
Autographs.
But I would never do that to someone who asked me for my autograph.
That was.
I'd be vulnerable actually because I'd be so flattered. My defenses would be down.
That's a good song.
You know what? Can you cut that out so that the muggers who might be seeing this don't ask me for my autograph?
Right. Yeah, that's totally how to get around it. Autograph.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't expect that to happen.
You know, that actually would be a great tactic. So all muggers who watch Broadway.com, because I'm sure there are tons of you.
Yeah.
Everyone who's like, in Bedford-Stuy, who's thinking of coming into the city and mugging someone, ask them for their autograph. They'll be so confused that they won't even notice that you're about to mug them.
The stage door has become brutal.
Yeah, our stage door has been really nice. But they have video cameras now, and everyone has a camera phone now. They didn't. I mean, look at how fast things have changed in our world. No one had like iPhones 5 years ago.
Right.
Now everyone does. So everything you're doing at the stage door now is being recorded or possibly put on YouTube. So maybe someone should try to mug me at the stage door. I'd be like the Bruce Lee of Broadway. I could like cream someone at the stage door. It would be like viral in 3 seconds. Because we were talking before this interview started.
The pre-show.
We were talking about how on the internet now, like if you want hits, you have to either be a train wreck or a cute puppy, or a cat. It's serious.
Yeah.
Like that's a serious truth.
Yeah.
So I think Kung Fu at the Stage Door would be like the best thing that could ever happen for Jersey Boys. It would ensure another 5 years of box office success.
You're all about getting attention, I guess. Can I show something? And don't be angry if I show this to you, because I love this. Can we talk about this?
Oh yeah.
This album cover.
Yeah.
They're your nipples.
That's right.
There's like a single you released, right?
That was an explanation.
An explanation.
Yeah, I was gonna go away for a little while, and that song was an explanation.
About going. Oh.
Speaking of train wrecks.
What do you mean going away? Is this like a?
This song thematically, it was kind of described what I was going through in my life at that point, and I knew I was going to be going away for a while. So, I wanted people to hear the song, so I gave it a really interesting cover.
Yeah, you did. You have like the wings and.
As I said, no one notices anything online unless it's.
Yeah, you got my attention. I was like, whoa, what's John Lloyd Young going through? And I guess you were going through something.
But what I was going through was on the other end of that image, was on the other side of the image. It was like judge a book by its cover, but it was supposed to make you want to read the book and listen to the song on the other end.
Right.
Like how bad could this song possibly be? And it's actually not a bad song. It was a song written by John Mercurio, who was a really great musical theater writer.
Right. Do you want to tell me what you were going through, or are we going to keep it vague? Just tough times?
I needed a friend, and I found one, and like a friend or mentor, and I found one, and so I went away and took a rest and got some stuff together that I wanted to get together, and made some art, a lot of it, a lot.
We're going to talk
tons.
About yeah, a lot of art. Let's talk about the art. So you go to the grocery store.
and I see something, and I'm like, you're coming home with me, and I hope you like jewelry because you're going to have a lot of it.
This is not a person.
Stuck all
this
over
was
you.
It
was like a box of Oreo cookies, yeah.
Okay.
I saw it and I was just like, I fell in love. I wanted to take it home and honor it with jewels.
And is this something you had ever like messed around with before, or you just like became an artist?
Okay, the honest truth is it's like a silly story. I'm trying to be funny.
Oh, sorry.
But the honest truth is that I've always wanted to make art, and I'd always followed art, and saw my first like Warhol exhibit in Spain when I was a student in Spain.
Okay.
And was just like blown away with what you could do. My manager gave me some mannequins because my manager is from the mannequin industry. She built one of the largest mannequin companies in the world, up from like a $5,000 investment. And she's a very successful businesswoman, and I'm the only mannequin she's ever dealt with that talks back. Okay, early on, when we had started working together, and she told me like get involved in Kung Fu and everything, and I was getting involved with that, she thought that an art project would be, because I loved art and I talked about art all the time, she thought it would be good for me to do an art project. So she gave me 2 identical mannequins. And I then went to like art supply shops and like bought a bunch of stuff that I could maybe use doing something with a mannequin. And I didn't know what I would do. And I had materials sort of laying around, and I was preparing an audition, learning lines or something. And I had like a box of something from my kitchen on the table. And I just started like putting like, you know, I had some rhinestones, like colored rhinestones. And I started putting them on the box. And some things started coming together, and I was like, oh my God, that's great. Turning like mass-produced familiar objects into precious works of art and putting them under museum glass. Because Warhol did the opposite thing. He took very popular images and painted them, and then tried to reproduce them as much as possible. The reproducibility was part of pop art. Well, taking something that is reproducible all over the world, but slowing it down and stopping it in its tracks and making it a unique piece of art. Because I've sold like 5 of those Ritz boxes that I've done. But none of them is exactly the same, because the placement of the stuff all over them is different. And putting them in museum glass and making them into a precious object is kind of like, it's like a joke, but it's also a sophisticated art history joke, I would like to think. Anyway, I thought it was a really exciting idea, and so I just started making lots and lots and lots of stuff, and that, you know, so I wasn't about to emerge anytime soon from my studio. I mean, I forgot to eat sometimes. I gave the food away, by the way. I didn't.
Oh, the food from the boxes.
I'm kind of with Michelle Obama on that. You can't just keep eating Oreos every day. Right. You know? So I gave food away.
I've seen a lot of these pieces, and they're really cool. They're really cool looking. So, so people commission you to do things?
I've been commissioned to do a few things. I did a piece for Spago restaurant.
Yeah, I saw that.
That had to have stuff that they sell at Spago in it, and I based it off of probably one of the most famous paintings in Southern California. It's at the Norton Simon Museum in Pasadena. It's a still life by Francisco de Zurbarán, which is like a Spanish painter from from 1633. But anyway, it's like a basket of lemons and oranges in a rose. And it's just a very simple still life. And so I lifted that composition and put like commercial things that they sell at Spago on it instead. I bastardized a masterpiece of art.
This is definitely like the most interesting interview that's happened here, because you're involved in a lot of things. You're not just like an actor sitting here talking about like the roles, and is this,
well,
were you always like this, or? And I know you're in California now, right?
I'll tell you something that I feel like about, at least for myself, and getting a little older and having spent some time away from what I was involved in for years and years. Because I came to New York right out of college, right out of summer stock in Maine, you know, wanting to be on Broadway, wanting to be an actor, and steadily, like by increments, got there and got to like the pinnacle of what you can do on Broadway, and with Jersey Boys in a starring role and all that stuff.
Tony Award.
All of that stuff, and then it was like, well, now what? I mean, you can't go and do experimental theater on Ludlow Street again after winning a Tony Award. I mean, you could, but like, can you really see an audience of people who loves Jersey Boys being able to sit through a 3-hour expressionist play in a storefront theater? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because then you bring an audience with you, and it's like, oh, wow, okay, well, my time as an actor doing that kind of stuff is either over, or if I want to experiment and do things that are outside the box, outside the box, I have to maybe go into another arena to do that. So for me, the art and kung fu and the recording studio, which I've been doing all this time, and there's a lot of stuff that I have in the can that I haven't released, or I don't know if I will release it. It's like it's been experimental.
Wow.
It's been a period of experimentation again before re-emerging, and this was in the midst of these things I've been doing. Being invited back to do Jersey Boys was like, this is going to be really fun because I have a very full life, but I also but I'm good at this and I know how to do it and love the Jersey Boys audience, and so this fit right into it. But I don't know if I answered your question.
I don't remember what the question was.
Yeah. I don't know what I want to do, but I know how I want to feel.
Oh, okay.
And so when I'm in the studio recording, it feels good. When I'm making an art piece that like I think is funny, or even some of them are just an excuse for me to deliver a title that I think is funny, like, I have a title in mind, so I make something.
Like what?
So
Give an
that
example.
Well, like the Spam can that I did I just thought it would be funny to call it Wham Bam Thank You Spam, so I made it. And it was sort of sarcastic and like dirty, and I thought it was, But Andy Warhol's first painting that he ever entered into a competition was of a boy picking his nose, and it said, "I can't pick the winner, but I can pick my nose." I mean, that's Andy Warhol, and all artists have some bit of a little bit of mischief in them, and in any arts. I mean, actors like Mark Rylance is like, come on.
Yeah.
If he were an artist, he would have submitted the same painting and given the same title as Andy Warhol did.
So it's not interesting for you right now to be in New York going from show to show. I mean, does that not interest you?
Well, again, like I said, like it's a tricky situation to be in the position of working toward a Broadway career and then in your first show, having everything happen that could possibly happen. An iconic role, because this role, Frankie Valli and Jersey Boys, will be an iconic role down the ages. It'll be like Tony in West Side Story, or Cassie in A Chorus Line. It's going to be one of those roles down, or Valjean in Les Mis, or whatever. It's one of those roles, Well, when you do that your first time out, then what are you going to do? Like, you're going to go be in the chorus or something? Because you're kind of at the whims of what's the marketplace have in the pipeline. And if it's a musical version of a movie that didn't have a part in it that would be right for you, then you're not going to work. You're going to sit around and wait for things and be frustrated. I figured instead of sitting around and waiting for things, I'd move to California where I wanted to live. I was born there. I always wanted to go back. I'd try to make art and maybe show it or sell it if I could, because I always wanted to do that. It just seemed like the right time to try other things.
I was looking up some YouTube stuff of you. You mentioned YouTube already. And I was watching you like sing Being Alive. And I was like, it's funny because I've only seen you in Jersey Boys, but then when I see you singing, and I didn't see you in Les Mis in LA, but there are clips out there, of course, of you as Marius in Les Mis. And terrific.
You know what I was doing then?
What?
I was actually doing something very specific then, which was, I got this feeling that the industry couldn't get over Frankie Valli. And that also didn't necessarily give Jersey Boys credit for being a real Broadway, like legitimate Broadway thing, because it was a jukebox show, or because it wasn't a book musical like in the traditional sense with songs written in a dramatic context, that I'll just say wasn't a musical theater actor really. So I kind of didn't fit anywhere, and I was like frustrated. And at that point, when I did Benefits or whatever, or Les Mis, it was to say, I can do these things too. I mean, I have a legit baritone. Listen, here it is, and here's Being Alive. Like, there are other parts in musicals I could play, but that didn't necessarily make those opportunities materialize for me. I was just sort of saying, I'm available. Like, I can do this, and then they didn't materialize, and so I got involved with the other things, and to so much of an extent that like now I kind of only want to do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, you seem really happy.
I only want to do art and music for a while.
So it sounds like
what I'm doing right now. I mean, I love this show. I always loved this show, and this part is like, this will be my part. Like, you know, like Yul Brynner's King and I, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there may never ever be another part I do that is as impactful as this. So I can live with that. I mean, a lot of people never get that opportunity.
Is it okay if I ask you about Lea Michele?
Well, it depends on what you want to ask.
Well, I know you dated, and you were in Les Mis together. What's it? And did you like move to LA together? Or
not
you were living
really.
together?
I moved to LA to do Les Mis.
Right.
And she was in it, and Stokes was in it, and so I did Les Mis and then stayed.
Okay. Well, I mean, what's it been like just watching that happen to her? I mean,
I mean, I didn't date her for very long, so I don't really know her that well.
Okay.
And we weren't right for each other, so it's like I don't know Matt very well, so it feels the same as watching it happen to him. You know, it's like I like him.
Matt Morrison.
Matt Morrison. I don't know him very well personally, but it's like, oh, that's great. These are parts that they're both very right for.
Right.
And it's great to see an actor do something that they're right. I mean, it happens to me here. It's happening to me now. It's like any actor who's right for a part. It's great to see them go with it.
Right. Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, and there's a lot that I'm not saying, but I don't want to.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, so.
I want to talk about this.
Okay.
So this is a great new album that you have put out called My Turn, and you're singing like classic covers on here. Great. I mean, fans of you and Jersey Boys are going to eat this up. I mean, it's really a great.
And that's why I did those songs. I mean, it's we thought it would be really kind of a good idea to take other songs from the era that were not Frankie Valli songs, with my voice on them. And that's what we did. Other really fantastic songs, hard songs by like fantastic singers, challenging songs that I wanted to try.
Right.
And but that Frankie Valli never touched.
Right. I mean, and people are going to know all these songs, and they just sound incredible. So, I love this. I think.
And I have one for you that I brought already signed.
Well, then, you know what? I'm going to give you this one for the autograph.
Okay,
one.
good.
Let's swap.
Yeah, but I signed one for you.
I have an autographed one. Thank you, sir.
Open it. It's like a 45 on a CD.
I love it.
I thought that was pretty cute.
It's pretty cute. Pretty cute. We like it. So how can people get this album? I know you have it at the theater.
Well, right now, the physical CD is only available at the theater.
Okay, and you can get it on iTunes.
And then if you want to listen to it, you can get it on iTunes.
Or
but
buy
if you really want that little
to hold it.
45 on the face of a CD, I mean, then the collector's item, you got to go back to Jersey Boys and buy it at the
Well, you have to go back
office.
to Jersey Boys anyway.
I'm not at the box office, at the gift shop. Yeah, you should come to Jersey Boys anyway, just to see like if
you're really awesome.
If I held up all these years.
He's held up, believe me. And you're at the show through September 30th.
Yes.
And then you're back to your art.
Yes. Right. Yes. I've already been going to museums here and getting ideas.
Yeah.
Do you know what I saw at the Brooklyn Museum,
What?
which is the weirdest museum ever, but a great museum? They have these old rooms from like old houses to sort of preserve them. And in the middle of this room, there's this just weird stuffed, like, it's an art piece, but it was a weird stuffed vulture with a Superman cape on. And I thought, this is Brooklyn. Yeah, all right.
Is that inspiring? That inspired?
I mean, it's just so out there that it gives you permission to do anything you want. You can do anything you want in art.
Right.
You might offend someone or you might, like, do something wrong, but hey, it's really fun to experiment.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And everybody needs to check out Jersey Boys and get that CD. And thank you, John. It's great to see you.
Thanks. And buy these mugs from Broadway.com.
We don't sell them.
Really great.
Collector's edition.
All right, we'll demand that they sell them because it's the perfect size.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.